An Olympic athlete is now one decision away from life in U.S. prison. Former snowboarder, international drug trafficking allegations, years on the run, now arrested and extradited. Most people think the ending is obvious. It isn't, because this case doesn't turn on drugs. It turns on command. And command is harder to prove than people think. This channel breaks down major crime stories through how the law actually works. Now the facts. Federal prosecutors allege Ryan Wedding didn't just traffic drugs. They allege he ran a transnational cocaine organization. Not a courier, not a middleman, a decision maker. They also allege the organization enforced discipline through violence, killings tied to drug disputes, and the murder of a potential witness overseas. These allegations aren't just shocking, they're strategic, because in federal court, violence doesn't just add charges, it changes who controls the case and how it ends. Public reporting describes a multi-count federal indictment that includes large-scale drug trafficking conspiracies, enterprise-style charges, the legal tools used to prove hierarchy, leadership, and control, allegations of murder and attempted murder committed in furtherance of that enterprise, plus money laundering and witness-related conduct. If the government proves Ryan Wedding led the organization and ordered violence, sentencing exposure moves to life. If it can't, this becomes a case about decades, not life. Now the prosecution's evidence. This case will not be decided by reputation. It will be decided by corroboration. The government will likely rely on 4 evidence pillars. First, cooperating witnesses, insiders who say Wedding gave the order. Second, communications evidence, phones, messages, coded language, location data. Third, financial and logistics proof, money movement, transport coordination, seizures. Fourth, and most important, violence attribution. Not whether violence happened, whether it was ordered, authorized, or controlled by Wedding. That 4th pillar is where this case turns. A jury would naturally ask how someone goes from the Olympics to this. The government's public timeline includes a prior drug conviction, then allegations of continued involvement at a larger scale, arrests of alleged associates, escalating international pressure, and eventual placement on the FBI's 10 most wanted list. This is a classic enterprise defense. Delegation, distance, deniability. Not nothing happened, but you can't prove my client ordered it. That distinction is the difference between life and decade. Now, the cross-examination. This case will be decided on cross-examination. Who is the first cooperator to accuse Wedding? What were they facing? What did they receive? Is there independent proof? Messages, payments, travel, logistics, tying Wedding to decisions? Or is the jury being asked to trust testimony that grows more valuable the bigger the story becomes? On the most serious allegations, violence and witness murder, what actually connects him? A direct instruction, a financial trail, a communication, or an inference? That's where this case is forced to turn. Now the law. Enterprise and conspiracy law allows broad narratives early, but trial law demands narrow proof. Jurors don't convict organizations, they convict defendants. And when murder-level conduct is alleged, attribution becomes decisive. Now, my ruling. This prosecution will move forward, no doubt. That part is straightforward, because early stages of the case tolerate uncertainty. But trial is different. At trial, this case would turn on whether prosecutors can independently corroborate claims that Ryan Wedding ordered violence. If they can anchor cooperators to communications, financial trails, and logistics, and link violence to orders, this likely ends in conviction with life-level exposure. If they cannot, reasonable doubt emerges on leadership and violence, even if a trafficking case survives. This case doesn't turn on who Ryan Wedding once was. It turns on what the evidence proves he commanded. What happens next will depend on discovery, cooperation, and whether the government's evidence holds under pressure. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit like and subscribe. It really does help the channel grow. And always remember, the truth matters and so does reasonable doubt. See you in the next case.